Hello friends, how are you? Happy Thursday. Thanks for joining me on this Thursday afternoon. So time was pushed back just a little bit just because I have my kiddos here on spring break with me. But I wanted to go ahead and get started on making some dough. So I've had lots of questions about how to make your dough and how to cut out your cookies and get them on your sheet. And so I am going to go over all of that with you. So I don't have you on my stand yet, so sorry for the wobbliness, but I wanted to show you from my KitchenAid mixer here. I have my canisters here from the Container Store. Wonderful. So I have my powdered sugar and this one, and then my flour. I kind of need a bigger one because I use a lot of flour when I'm making my dough. So I need to check and see if they have a larger one. This one's the perfect size for the powdered sugar. And I use powdered sugar in my cookie recipe, not granulated sugar. So a lot of people use granulated sugar, which is great. But for my recipe, I use the powdered sugar, and it's fantastic. So, and then I have all my other ingredients stored up here in this cabinet, like my salt, my vanilla, and my baking powder. So I went ahead and mixed up my dough. I just mixed this just now, and I wanted to show you, a lot of people have questions about when is the perfect time, like when is your dough ready to start rolling out. So here's my dough. And as you can see, there's quite a bit on the bottom that has just a little bit that has not blended in. But for the most part, all of it is here on the paddle attachment. So it is a nice consistency. It is not sticky or tacky. If you find that when you're making your dough, if it sticks to your fingers, then you just need to add a little more flour. So another reason I have my flour just right here, because I can add just a little bit more with my cup, and then it will get that right consistency. So you don't want it too sticky. If it does not have enough flour, when you bake them, they will spread. So super, super important. And just a troubleshooting, if you have trouble with them spreading, add a little bit more flour when you make it. So I am going to take it off. Let's see if I can do it one-handed. Take it off my mixer, and I usually it's kind of hard one-handed. So I take it off. I'm going to bring it over. I'm going to bring my flour over to my station over here, and I am going to sit you up, guys, up on my stand so that way you can see everything. So now you can see everything that I have. So I have got my rolling pin here. Let me just show you. I'm going to show you what I have, and then I'll sit you on the stand. So I've got my dough. Well, I've got my sheet pan. I use air bake pans. These are my absolute favorite. I love them. Use them all the time. I have 4 of them that I use to bake everything on. And then you can buy these at Bed Bath & Beyond, or I've linked them on my Amazon page. And then a lot of times I will just roll out just right here and just put my flour on my countertop. You can use wax paper. I find that wax paper works well if I'm doing just like a small batch. I'll just use wax paper so I don't have to clean up so much. But then I have my, excuse my sink, my precision rolling pin. And so this is for 3/8 of an inch, and it's got like the cutouts right here so that when you roll it, it gives you that perfect, precise thickness that you want. So this is from the Cookie Countess, and she also has one that is a 1/4 of an inch if you like a cookie on a thinner side. I like mine a little bit on the thicker side, so I think that they just come out better, they taste better. And so this is the 3/8 of an inch. So highly, highly, highly recommend them. So I'm going to make some Easter cookies today. I'm doing a cookie class this weekend, and so I need to make the cookies for that. So I thought I would go ahead and just make those with you guys today. So I've got a bunny. This one is from Sweet Design Shop, as well as the chick. And then we're going to do an egg. This is a Wilton egg that I probably picked up at Walmart or somewhere. We're going to do a carrot to go with the bunny, and then we're going to do a tulip. So I'm going to do 2 eggs for them, so they'll get 6 cookies to decorate this weekend. So yes, in just a minute, sweet baby. So I am going to set you guys up here, and I'm going to show you. So I usually take my rings off whenever I'm doing dough, just because it gets all of my rings and all that. So I'm going to start with, hopefully I don't, my dough, and I'm just going to take it off of my paddle attachment here. And I'm just kind of getting it all off of the, and usually what I do if I'm making multiple batches, I just set this to the side because I'm just going to use it. I don't wash it after every use unless I'm making icing or something like that, of course. But I'm just going to set it to the side. But I'm also going to use, let me find my good scraper. I have this amazing scraper. This was in my CookieCon swag bag last year, but I believe it's from, it doesn't have a tag on it, but I believe it's from the Creative Cookier. But it just works great to go all the way around. So this is a double batch of dough. Oh, thank you, Sydney. She brought me some scissors. So I'm going to get about, and so you see how like it's pulled away from the bowl before I scraped it. That's when you know also when your dough is ready, when it's kind of pulled away from the dough. So I'm going to usually take about half of my dough, and I'm just going to take a pinch of flour and just kind of spread it out. She brought me some scissors. So I'm just going to knead it into a ball. I'll do it in just a minute, sweetheart. Can you go sit down and wait for me? Thank you. So I just like to have it in a ball. I do use quite a bit of flour just because I don't want it to stick to the surface. So then I get my rolling pin and I'm going to start rolling out. So the rolling pins that she has now, the Cookie Countess, has the handles. You can't see it. The handles move. These are not. This one was discounted when I bought it, and then she came out with the new one. So
look at this cookie.
I see. So I'm just going to roll it out, and so as you can see, it's just rolling it out. Hopefully I don't run into my stand here. You need to put it in the garbage? And so I'm rolling it out. And so as you can see, like, there's no tension on it. Like, it's all flat, but it's a fairly thick, a thickness to it. So I'm going to do 8 of these little bunnies. And so what I try and do is get as close to the edge as I can. And, oh, God bless you. So sorry for the kiddo interruptions. True life, right? So one reason I like the Etsy shops for the cutters is they're so, like, they have all worked so hard to get a comfortable grip, versus your metal ones are not as comfortable if you're cutting out a whole bunch. So I highly recommend. Again, this one is from the Sweet Design shop, and it's a little bunny. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I need 8. So some people use a spatula to get their cookies out. I don't. I just go directly, just pick them up, and I'm placing them on my cookie sheet. So, and you can see, I'll show you the thickness. So you can see he's got really good thickness to him here. So this one, his ears are a little floppy. So I just kind of take the dough and move it aside. If you have any that like get misshapen while you're doing it, just kind of move them, just kind of reshape them when you get them on the tray. So I'm also going to do this little chick. He's also from the Sweet Design Shop. He's super cute. I got him last year, but I believe she does have him again this year. So everybody's at CookieCon right now in Reno, and I'm a little FOMO that I'm not there, but I was just at CookieCon in September. So, but I am loving seeing what everybody has, what everything's going on there. It's so cool. I'm hoping to go next time. So when I have cut out everything and I'm just left with the scraps, I'm going to take it and roll it back into a ball. I know. And then I'm going to grab the rest of my dough here out of my bowl, and I'm going to mix them together. So usually we'll just try and get all the scrapes at the bottom and mix them all together. I use a 3/8 of an inch thickness. So my rolling pin is for 3/8 of an inch. So I just spread out some more dough, or some more flour. And again, if you don't want to do this like right on your countertop, you can always use wax paper. Sometimes I do that if I'm doing like just a small, let's be careful, okay? Sorry. So this rolling pin is a 3/8 of an inch. It's from the Cookie Countess. It's fairly long, but it works fantastic for rolling out your dough. So this dough, you do not have to chill this dough. You know, it's like I just took it straight from the bowl and plopped it on the counter. So you do not have to chill it at all. We'll turn it. And you don't have to freeze it. So you can if you want, but I'd rather not ruin my hands. So, so 3/8 of an inch. Thanks so much. Okay, I need you to wait, okay? So I'm going to try and get it away from my stand here. But when you roll it with the precision, you just roll it like so, and it's just going to have that just right thickness with the precision. And again, 3/8 of an inch. And let's see, I need 6 of these. So again, I like to just go to the edge if I can. If your cutters are sticking in the dough, just take some flour and kind of dab it in the flour like that. If they seem to be sticking to your cutter, sometimes like small designs will do that if there's like little bitty ones. Don't pull it down, please. So I've got more of him, so I'm putting him on my sheet. I'll show you my sheets when I get them all on there and before I put them in the oven. And I'm going to bake these at 400 degrees for 9 minutes. So maybe 10. I'll take a look at them at 9 and see how they're doing. So usually what I do is I have my cutters here, and it's right next to my sink. So I'll just put them in my sink when I get done. And then I am going to do my tulip now. I need 8 of these as well. So I'm not sure if I'll get all of them cut out of this one. This is a double batch of dough. And so it usually will make about 32 regular size cookies. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7. I don't know if you can see all the way down there. I guess you can. Awesome. Okay, so I have this tray is full. So I'm going to show you guys that this tray is full. You can see the thickness. This is about how far I spread them out, because they won't spread, but I just give them a little bit of extra. So this one's like a little cracked right there. He's going to be just fine. He's going to cook and be put together, and then when you ice them, you'll ice all of this together, so he'll be perfectly fine. I just need to make sure when I pull him out of the oven and put him on a cooling rack that he is fine. But I am going to, like I said, this tray is full. If you are buying trays, actually I think I might be able to fit one more on here. Just measure your oven before you buy. I'm not sure what size these are. They're fairly large. baking sheets, but just put them on there, or just measure your oven before you purchase any, just so you know like that they will fit. So I've got my oven at 400 degrees, and I'm gonna put them in here. And this little chicken is hanging off there. So I'm gonna put them in, and then I'm gonna set my timer for 9 minutes. Now, normally what I do is I will look in there at 9 minutes, and I usually they need a few more minutes to bake. So the trays I got from Bed Bath & Beyond. So they still have them there, or you can look on my Amazon cart and see these trays. They are Air Bake is the brand of trays. I like them the best. I've tried other trays. Make sure, one of my biggest tips, and you'll find this in my essential guide that you can find on my profile page, is to get a light colored pans. The light colored pans will make sure your cookies are don't burn on the bottom. The dark colored pans seem to cook your cookies on the bottom versus the light colored cook on the top, and so you're gonna have burned cookies a lot of times if you use the dark color. So now I'm gonna do 8 of these eggs. I actually need probably 16 of these, but I won't be able to get 16 out of this. But I am, again, so a lot of people ask, like, what do you do with all the scraps? So I take them again, roll it all up, and make it into a ball. Get some more flour. The amount of flour I use does not change the thickness, or it doesn't change the cookie at all. Oops, sorry. So I'm just rolling them out again, as you can see. And so again, this is your 3/8 of an inch thickness. And then I'm gonna do some more eggs here. So my class this weekend is the Easter theme. So I love Easter themed cookies. 5, 6, 7, 8. So again, I just pick them up. The butter that I use it right out of the fridge. I don't bring my butter to room temperature, and so it's the dough is still pretty hard and pretty cold, I should say, not hard. It's pretty cold, so that's part of the reason that it will keep its shape when I go to put them on the tray. And now I need 5. I think I need just 3 of these. Cute little. Again, I'm just going to roll it back up. And I feel like I could probably do these steps in my sleep most of the time. What other questions do you guys have as we're going along here? And again, it's 3/8 of an inch. And then I am just cutting out my shapes. And then placing them on the pan. I have 2 ovens, and so I will usually have the other oven going. The recipe I use is, I don't give out my recipe. That will be in my online course that's coming out really soon, but it is very similar to Sweet Sugar Belle's recipe. So if you need one immediately, you can go on her website and see hers. But I'm just going to make some extra eggs here. And usually when I get down to the end of the dough like this, you're able to just get like 1 or 2. Where are the cutters from? So these are Wilton cutters that I probably picked up at Walmart or Joann, somewhere along the way. I've had them for a really long time. And then these cutters are from the Sweet Design Shop. She has cute cutters right now, or all the time, because she has them all the time. They're really cute. So these are from the Sweet Design Shop. This multi-cutter egg cutter is from the Sweet Sugar Belle, and she has a whole line at Michael's and Joann Fabrics and online, and they are wonderful. They're plastic, and so along with, these are metal cutters, but the other ones from the Sweet Design Shop, You cannot put those in the dishwasher. You have to hand wash those, along with these are the same way. But they're wonderful. I highly recommend Sweet Sugar Bells, especially when you start out, because she has stencils and great templates for you to work with when you're first starting out. So you can find those at Michael's, Joann's, and online. So highly recommend them. So great question. Another great shop that I love is Kaleido Cuts. I tag her stuff a lot in my pictures. And I have a ton of her cutters, and she has an Etsy shop as well. So you can just search Kaleido Cuts. And can you leave your butter cold in Sweet Sugar Bells recipe too? You know, she, in her recipe, and that's one thing that's different in my recipe, is that she does say to soften your butter. In most baking, it's kind of taboo to not soften your butter, but I'm just kind of a rebel like that, I guess. But most recipes will say to do it, and she does say to soften your butter, but I don't. So I don't know why. I'm just not very patient. So I just don't. I don't soften it. I cut it up into about an inch or half an inch slices and put it in with my in my mixer. So that didn't work out. That looks funny. I couldn't see it. So how do you roll out a smooth dough? So as you can see, like, I just kind of ball it up, no matter what size it is. If it's like half a thing, I will ball it up and just kind of make sure I don't have any like clumps, you know, hanging out. And then I just roll it with my precision here. Hopefully I'll get enough. Yay, somebody else that doesn't soften their dough. Yay. Or soften their butter, I mean. And a lot of people say, well, how does your butter get incorporated into your dough? Well, it just does. I don't know. Like, sometimes I'll get clumps of butter. And if I do get like a large clump, like if it's like this large in the dough, I just kind of will pick it out and kind of toss it in the sink and not use it. If you do get any butter, like if you like say this is your cookie and there's like some butter here that you can see, it will spread right there. So just be mindful of that. Like if you see it, just kind of toss it aside and don't use that dough. Your dough just results so smooth and cuts great. Your cookies don't lose their shape when you're online. When is your online course? It is coming out hopefully in May. I'm putting together the final touches of it right now, and it will be hello from Germany. My husband took like 5 years of Germany in high school, so that's so fun. I want to go to Germany. Sorry, squirrel. But it will be coming out in May, and it will be a from beginning to end course that you can do at your own pace. You'll get the full course when you pay for it. You get the full course that you can watch anytime that you want. It'll be a lifetime that you get, and so you can go through it whenever you have time. If you want to go through, you just want to make the cookies and just work on baking cookies, you can totally do that. So it will go through from baking your cookies, how to start, what you need, the essentials that you need, which I have a free PDF right now on my site that you can get. You can go to my Instagram profile and get that. And it has just my essentials, things that you need to get started, from like your rolling pin to your mixer to cutters, all that good stuff. And then it also will have obviously decorating. So we'll talk about cookie dough. We'll talk about icing recipes. You'll get all of my recipes. Yeah, and then I will teach you step-by-step instructions on how to decorate your cookies. So Hawaii, I love Hawaii. It's just the best place ever. I'm trying to talk my husband into going next year, so we shall see. So my cookies are almost done. I'm so glad that you can see this because they're I'm like 9 seconds. It's going to be pure in a minute. So I wanted you to see what they look like, and so I know when they're ready. So I'm going to take you off here. Here's my other tray of ones that are ready. So we're beeping. So I'm going to take a look at them. So I don't know if you can see. Hopefully the heat doesn't mess up my phone from this. So you can kind of see. I don't know if you can see it on here or not. So you see how they're kind of like glossy there in the middle. You can kind of see on these over here. I'm trying to see if you can tell. So I am going to give them, it's getting a little hell on my phone. I'm going to give them another minute. I'm going to do one more minute. And then I'll keep you guys on here for another minute. I got to move our pizza that we have for lunch. But I'm going to keep them on for another minute because I want you to see exactly what they look like when they come out of the pan, so that you see that they keep their shape. Oh, I forgot to mention, this is parchment paper. So I just get like the Kroger brand parchment paper. I think that you can get pre-cut sheets. I forgot who has the pre-cut sheets. I don't remember because I don't use them. So I just use like Kroger brand. I could probably get it more economical getting the pre-cut sheets, but it's just 2 sheets here on my tray. I forgot what size these trays are. I'll have to get that for you guys. But use the parchment. Definitely use your parchment paper. It will help in keeping them from changing colors. In fact, I'm going to move these over because a lot of times if they're hanging off like this, they tend to burn on that side. Or just not, I won't say burn, they just get more golden. Okay, they're ready. So let's see. Got my oven mitt here. All right, so they look perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you a few things about them now that they're out. Let me shut this. I have other cookies I'm working on for this week. So, as you can see, pull them right out of the oven. I'm gonna let them cool before I put them on a tray, but they have not spread. Let me grab my cutter so you can see. Hopefully I don't drop it on the cookie. But they have not spread hardly at all. So you can see the shape. Trying to see. They've kind of just puffed up a little bit. And they won't keep this puffy look. So see how they're kind of like puffy? So they won't keep that puffy look. It'll kind of go down once they cool off in about 10 or 15 minutes. So usually what I'll do is let them, but you see how like they don't look glossy in the middle like they were when I first showed you in the oven. And so you can see that they look dry, like they're not. Now, I will say that my cookies are almost undercooked. So again, like I said, I kept them in there for 10 minutes. I believe Sugar Bell's recipe says 7 to 9 minutes. It will depend on your oven. This oven here that I'm right above is a gas oven, and the one that it's cooking in is a electric oven. My electric oven cooks them. Oh no, look, he's got parchment paper inside of him. Let's see if I can. Oh, there we go. He had it like right on the corner. My electric oven, I leave them in there for 9 to 10 minutes, and then my gas oven, I leave in for 7 to 8 minutes. So I'm not sure what the difference is. And I find that my electric oven, I will in just a minute, cooks them more evenly. So I don't know why. I've been told that it should be the opposite, but mine is not. I'll get them in just a minute. And then I do use cooling racks. So let me grab some cooling racks. So like again, I will let these sit for probably about 5 minutes or so before I put them on the cooling rack. And so what I use for my cooling racks are these that are also from, these are also from, I think, Bed Bath & Beyond. I think Target has them. Anyway, they come in like a pack of 3, and they are cookie cooling racks. I think is what they're called. But I use them, like I used them yesterday when I made Sydney's birthday cake and stuff, but they're awesome. I put them right, usually I'll put a paper towel on the top here just because it will just absorb some of the grease from the cookies, like the butter grease from the cookies, and so I'll just put a paper towel over it and then put the cookies right on top of it. But I also, when I decorate, I'll show you a tray. I'm 5'4", but I put my cookies on the cooling rack and then have my tray that I'm decorating. So these are the ones that I posted this morning that were Sydney's birthday cookies and stuff, but it just is like the perfect height for me to decorate. If I was to decorate on the counter, I would be hunched over, and you know, that's just not fun at all. So, but I like to have, I just use these trays, just keep one out that I use to decorate and stuff with. So those, and let's see how these are coming. So still the same, still look really good. If you have any that do get misshapen for whatever reason, you can always, like, as soon as they come out of the oven, you can use a knife and kind of like circles and stuff like that. Like, you can kind of reshape them. But for the most part, this is what they come out every time with this recipe. That's one thing I love. You can see how close I put them together because I know that they're not going to spread a lot. So yeah, and like this one's got like a little air bubble here. Some people use something to like flatten their cookies out. I don't. Like, as you can see, they're not as puffy as they were. Oh, they're hot. But they are going to be great just like this. So they're going to keep their thickness. They're going to be nice and thick. And so what I do, and this is another, nobody asked this, but a good question is, what do I do once I have them done and they're cool? So I store them in these. You can see all of my mess today. These, look at this llama. Like, he's so old, and I was going to decorate him, and he's just kind of hanging out. So I store them in these Rubbermaid containers. They are fantastic, and they are great. They're airtight containers. So I will put my cookies in here and keep them in here until I'm ready to start decorating them. They are, you can get these at Kroger. I have them on my Amazon page as well, but they are wonderful because they keep them airtight, and they're awesome. Highly recommend. So I keep them in here until I'm ready to start decorating and flooding them. Once I start flooding them, I have them on these trays. These are from Webstaurant. They're a half a sheet cookie tray, baking sheet, I think is what they're called. I'll get it right eventually. And that come with the lids, and they're actually pretty inexpensive. Now, Webstaurant does have very high shipping rates, so if you're going to get some, get a bunch so you don't have to buy more. But I keep them in these until I'm ready to start decorating them. And so I keep them on these the whole time. They're only, I have the lids off only when I'm working on them, and then when they're done drying, I keep them in here until I bag them. So you can see like Humpty Dumpty here, which I haven't finished, like the green catastrophe yesterday, if you watch my stories, and I had a bag that busted, which is, I've had bags bust on me before, but usually it's outline icing, and this one was flood icing from baby over here. And so somebody said, did you redo Humpty Dumpty? No, I did not, because I don't have time, because I have to write on him and everything today, so he's being picked up tomorrow. So Humpty Dumpty's going to be a little green. So I think I did make an extra one. So sorry to my customer that he's a little green. But yeah, I hated that happened. So the other one wasn't too bad. I was able to clean him off pretty well. So anywho, and are your cookies soft once they cool off? Yes. So I kind of can tell once they're cool. They're soft as in kind of like a Loft House cookie, if you know that texture. But a lot of times I will just squeeze the sides once they're iced. I don't really do it when they're not iced. But you can kind of squeeze the sides or push on the back. So let me see. So this one, he's really old, so you can't push on the back. But if you push on the back and your thumb kind of goes in, you can tell he's still fresh. Or I can squeeze the sides and kind of tell if they're still soft. Like again, this one's been sitting out for weeks. It's just going to be a demo. So obviously I'm not doing that for a customer. But you can kind of tell, like these little rabbits, these are also for a demo for my Easter cookies. So they're soft. I can tell. I just made them this week. Oh, and I just cracked them. So be careful when you do that. That's why I do the sides. Hopefully I can still use them. But you can tell, so these are dry. But you can just kind of tell and just feel the back. So anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that was so fun. Let me know if you have any other questions. That essential guide is linked on my profile. Go find it. It will tell you everything that you need to know and need to get if you're getting started making cookies. And it's been so fun. Thank you so much. Let me know what else you want to see, and I look forward to seeing you guys next Thursday. Thanks so much. Have a great one. Bye, guys. And yes, I will save this video and it'll be on. You can watch it again for 24 hours. And then what I'll do, I can't do it on IGTV, it's too long, but I will upload it to my Facebook business page. So it will be on my Facebook page, so you can go see it there. Thanks, guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.